Day 28 Word of God Leviticus chapter 26 verse 12. I will walk among you and be your God, and you shall be my people. Leviticus chapter 26 contains blessings and curses that God outlines for Israel based on their obedience or disobedience to his commands. This verse, Leviticus chapter 26 verse 12, specifically highlights God's promise of presence and relationship with his people. During the time of Moses, Israel had recently been liberated from Egypt and was journeying through the wilderness towards the promised land. The book of Leviticus serves as a guide for the Israelites in how to worship and live in obedience to God. I will walk among you signifies God's desire for intimate fellowship and communion with his people. It denotes God's presence among the Israelites, guiding, protecting, and providing for them as they journey through life. And be your God reaffirms God's sovereignty and covenant relationship with Israel. It emphasizes his role as their protector, provider, and the object of their worship and obedience. And you shall be my people underscores the reciprocal nature of the covenant relationship. God chose Israel to be his people, set apart for himself, to demonstrate his glory and righteousness to the nations. Throughout Israel's history, God's presence among his people was evident in various ways. During the wilderness wanderings, God guided the Israelites with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Exodus chapter 13 verse 21. In the construction of the tabernacle, God's glory filled the sanctuary, symbolizing his dwelling among his people. Exodus chapter 40 verse 34-35. King Solomon's dedication of the temple marked another significant moment of God's presence filling the temple. 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 10-11. In the New Testament, God's promise of dwelling among his people finds its fulfillment in Jesus Christ, who came to dwell among us. John chapter 1 verse 14. Through Jesus, God establishes a new covenant with his people, inviting all who believe in him to be his children. John chapter 1 verse 12. For believers today, Leviticus chapter 26 verse 12 points to God's desire for a personal and intimate relationship with his people. It reminds us that God's presence is not just a historical reality but a present and ongoing promise for those who believe in him. This verse challenges us to cultivate a deeper awareness of God's presence in our lives, seeking to honor him in all that we do. It encourages us to live as a community set apart for God's purposes, reflecting his character and love to the world. God bless you and give you grace after grace.